Good morning, good morning, and good morning. How was your weekend? How was it? What did you do? Did you do anything that was gratifying, satisfying, exciting, loving, caring? All those good things. Was it? Or was it a weekend where you fell down? Well, today that's our word to fall. Fall, Fall. Real simple. It's simple a word, but is it simple in terms of procedure, process, planning? Sometimes we don't plan to fall, but we fall anyway. We fall. But I didn't fall this weekend. Lord knows I did it. God was so good. He was so good. I responded about, maybe a week and a half prior to an email I received, and the email was from the Her Awards or the Herpreneur Network. And I said, well, I never heard of them. So I started doing my research, and research was showing that there was this woman that was given such a great thing from God, and she was sharing it. Dr. Nikki is her nickname. I think Nicole is her first name, Ziegler. Oh my goodness. Full of wisdom, full of ability, and full of how to connect women that are doing business and with a consciousness for their own spirituality and Christianity within their work. Oh my goodness. It was a discovery for me and many other women in this area where I'm from. Well, once my research was showing that, it had been done in California, it had been done in Alabama, and it was done in Georgia, and then it was coming here to our area and being actually celebrated in Destin, Florida. Well, I love Destin, and I was not disappointed. Oh my goodness, it was beyond my imagination to have such distinctive women in the place, and of which I was one of them. I received the Lifetime Achievement Award. I don't know how they selected it. I don't know what they did, but the Lord was in the process, okay? He was there. It was just exciting. I said, I have to speak on this morning because it was something good. Um, and the results were is that you had trailblazers, you had a trailblazer, you had a trendsetter, you had an icon, you had, entrepreneur. I mean, it was just fabulous just to see women that probably don't get a lot of what I would say recognition, the full recognition they deserve. It was on display. It was on display, and we could stand up for each other. So it was really good. But good morning. Good morning to you. Today our word is fall. And I woke up with the song, Donnie McClurkin song, we fall down but we get up. But to fall is just a saint who is falling down. It's the saint, like we're still there, we still have something to us, but we may trip, we may fall, and we don't know how to get up all the time. And some of us, it's hard for us to recover from anything that we fall in on. When we fall. Good morning, Joan. How are you doing, my friend? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Glad to see your name in that place there. Good to have you. Um, and I was thinking about this song from Donnie McClurkin. It says, "For a saint who is just a sinner who fell down but couldn't stay there, they had to get up." Some of us have real difficulty getting up from things that we have fallen on. We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to maneuver. But I know for myself, when something has happened to me and it's tough to get over, it may take longer with certain things than it does with others. But all of us have probably experienced something that was very, very difficult to say we maneuvered our way back up from. It could be relationships of, could be divorce. It could be, love relationships, working relationships. I mean, these are things that sometimes we don't recover from very quickly. And some of us always will have that, I would call it like a pain. We would have a pain or a discomfort every time we think or see certain things that trigger that, that hurt, that where we, because we can always remember where we were in our lives when we felt for something. We took a fall, and we don't know how we made it up from it, but we do. We do. We turn. It's hard for us to turn sometimes, but we will turn. So I found this thing called the risk-taking warrior, um, who experienced the fall. Let me see if I can find my glasses. I did. But I'm going to ask you this morning, are you stuck? Did you fall on anything? Good morning, Nicole. There she is right there. That lady right there, bad lady, bad. And it's not that just that I'm giving homage. I'm so surprised that you found me, but I'm more surprised that I turn back. A lot of times people come towards us, we don't know what to do. But hey, Queen, hey, how are you? How are you? But today our word, I don't want to get too excited that I missed my point with folks that usually come in here to my space. But this is called The Risk-Taking Warrior, and it's a poem by Marion Ratu. And I love this. And I did this area on falling on in 2020. So it's been 3 years. Good morning, Kiwanis. Hey, my friend. How are you? Good to have you too in the space. So anyway, it says risk-taking warrior. Sometimes we are afraid to take risks. We're afraid to. But anyway, let's see what Marion Ratu says. It says, I make my way up to the board, taking a stand, ready to fall. Prepared my mind for this dive, ready to plunge or waste no time. I close my eyes and feet and feel the wind, breathed in the airs that's bittersweet. I'm at the edge. I have no fear. Water below seems so clear. The crowd behind are watching me. They cheer me on. They want to see. Will I sink or will I float? Their eyes on me as I let go. I take that dive into the deep. I fall with grace that carries me. This tumble seems to never end. It takes me straight to the earth's deep end. I'm in the core of all its reels. I sense the harshness in the still, a depth of loneliness so bare. Will I be beat or will I dare? I feel the pain, it is so raw. My brown skin scraped to bitter sore. An ego flees like terrier night. A pride departs in fearful fright. With all the might of earth's grace gorge, great force, I charge ahead to reach my cause. I have felt strife. I have felt strife. I have known pain. Without these stripes, I'd have no gain. A warrior born into this place, I grow and rise up to the pace, up to the plate. Fearless, one from earth's deep end, the risk was worth the prize of hand. Sometimes we're afraid. Good morning, Maurice. We're afraid to take a plunge. We're afraid to talk. We're afraid to try. We're afraid to believe in who we are, who we are. We were fiercely made. We were. So for me, the risk take says I may fall, but then again, I may not. Good morning, crew. How are you, my friend? Good to see you in this space this morning. Sometimes we don't know how to maneuver what we've been given. We may fall, or guess what? We may stand tall, never realizing that there was a need to think about a fall because we stood. So look, let's get on. I'm going to ask you this morning, are you stuck? Listen, I found this other little thing. It says, believe, think, try, fail. Fight, fall down, quit, get up, hope, repeat as needed. That's by Scott Hoteling. Sometimes we have to do that. We have to fight. We have to go. We have to stop. We have to fall. We have to get back up. It is what it is. It is what it is. Have you fallen and having trouble getting back up on anything this morning? Have you? Be honest. You don't have to tell it in the thread. Tell it to yourself. You know what? I'm having trouble with that. How am I going to get around that? How am I going to get through that? Well, you know what? If you stay focused on what it is that you need to get up from in terms of a fall, you're going to say it starts with one foot after another. But put one foot down, I'm going to put one hand down, put the other foot down, and I'm going to lift myself up. That's what we have to do. We have to lift up. Sometimes people won't give you a hand because they don't know you took a fall. You don't tell them. Sometimes our heaviest stuff we keep to ourselves. Our heaviest stuff. But I say move on. Move on if you can. Find somebody that can help you move. So let's talk about fall. Fall is move downward, typically rapidly and freely without control. It says from the higher to the lower level. One loses one's balance and they collapse. One may drop. Another one may drop down. They may plummet. They may descend or sink or plunge or dive or tumble. They may pitch, they may cascade, and they may gravitate, all going down to what is below. Okay, that's the fall. That's the fall. Many of us can talk about a fall we've taken. Could have been a fall from grace. It could have been fall from a place. It could have been fall from love, fall from somebody being kindly to you. You know it. You know when you've taken a fall. Okay. So when we move this word on into using, the are you stuck method, the Sandy thing, or Winnie, the first F for me is that we took a flop, an FLOP. It says that's when you have fallen. You moved. You took what they say, like a hand glide down. It says into maybe even a heavy and a swift pace. Excuse me. And it says it's usually an ungainly way. You realize that you can't feel. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good, Joan. Because sometimes we do have to feel where we've been and feel where we're going. And sometimes we're at a place that we can't feel ourselves up from because we first have to realize that we have fallen. We're down. It says this flop is also a drop. It could be a droop or a sag. It could be a flap or it could be a low. So when we think about our lives and we think about some of the things that we've encountered, if we went around and categorized some of the things we've been through, we would be real interested to know and find out just from our own memory that we've taken several falls in our lives. Several. Nothing to be ashamed about because you got up. Nothing to be ashamed about at all. It says that we end up realizing that what we've been through, the fall, helped us not only navigate our getting back up, but our ability to stay up once we got up. Because we realize that may be an area that gives us unsettled foundation. It's not even, it's not balanced for us. So we have to move to an area that is safer. And so if the ground is broken and we've fallen through, then we know once we get up that we're not going back to that section. It's like the kid that touches the hot stove and they touch the hot stove. You already told, but they didn't realize that you meant anything by it until they touch the hot stove. Then it's something that they feel. Thanks, Joan. They feel it. Once they feel it, it already now it has gone deeper into their understanding of hot. And that's us. When we fall in a certain way for over a certain, things that have happened to us, we realize that we learned something from the fall. We've learned something. We move on in our word of fall. I have the abyss. How many people understand that the abyss is the deep or the seemingly bottomless chasm? That's us. Sometimes we don't even realize that we've fallen like water. Water will always go to its lowest level, no matter what. Okay. If there's rocks in the glass and water has been poured on the rocks, over the rocks, the water still is going to go to the lowest level in that glass and fill it up from the bottom up. Okay. That's us. Sometimes we don't realize that we've already been filled up, but we still don't understand the fact that we had a bottom. We couldn't go any further down. We couldn't go. That was it. We had done it. Abrupt, yeah. Because sometimes falls are abrupt, no matter what. Good morning, Erica. How my friend doing? My little sweet angel voice friend. Um, anyway, you realize that the abrupt could be something that happened suddenly, but the fall was even more memorable than the how you descended. You just remember. You remember the fact that you were down. You remember what was down there with you. Your hurt, your anger, your frustration, you're crying, your emotional outburst of where you've been, and I don't care what it is that you've been through, you know, all of us have probably experienced something that says that our falls sometimes are deeper than what we imagine them ever to be. It is what it is. So the abyss talks about it being deep and seemingly bottomless. Okay. It says it could be a ravine, a cavern, it could be fissures, it could be a rift, it could be a hole or the gulf that you're in, the pit. I always remember somebody talking about the pit of hell. I couldn't imagine, to me, if I get to the door of hell, I don't want it. So to go to the pit of hell says that must be pretty bad. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Don't want to do it. Abrasive. Oh, Erica, that's good. Because sometimes our falls are abrasive. We find that on our way down, we're being, tossed all around. We're driven. And it keeps coming. And then all of a sudden we're at our bottom. I always imagine people that were captured and the torture that they took. And when the torture stopped temporarily, because the torture still remains in the head. That's my counseling speaking. It remains in the head regardless, because even people that have been abused, the physicality of their abuse may be over, but the chilling effect from what happened to them remains with them. That's the whole thing. So to just be this person that was beaten and beaten and beaten and then left low, left on the ground, left in the, even if they're not on the ground, but they're in a swagged bed, or there's something that just takes it down and makes it even worse in the psyche. You get it. You say, wow, oh my goodness, that's unbelievable that I could be this low. Accumulated, falling multiple times. Oh, you better talk. You better talk. Yes, Maurice. Sometimes we fall over and over and over again. Why? Because we never fix the steps. We never fixed the steps to when we were falling in the first place. Never fixed them. Steps still weak. We're not prepared. That's just the weakness of the steps. We don't know how to fall. So we end up falling the same way we fell the first time. Why? Because we weren't ready for the steps. We weren't ready to go down. We weren't ready to be able to stand up on a higher step or realize that all we needed to do is move to a different place, move away from what was weak in us and in the steps. We didn't realize it. But that's great. That's great. Alarming. That's that. Look, how many of us have been alarmed at the falls that we've taken? I know I have. To work sometimes to realize that you work for people who, always require more of you that you do, because they say, well, this is part of what I pay you for. And you do the work and then realize that you will always just be in the middle. I said, if I ever finish this book called Leading from the Middle, I started it years ago. And this is my experience from just having worked for so many people, where your work goes up, but your name doesn't, your recognition doesn't, you don't, So that's what I'm talking about. The fact that sometimes we work doing great things, but we are not recognized for it. You can go with NASA, you can go with so many things in the world where, the proper ownership of the creative thought did not go to the person who should be recognized. it went to the agency or went to the person that was at the top of the agency. I always talk about those figureheads, but I'm not today. But we just have to look at not trying to make sure that our lives have been ones of alarmingness or ones where we've had accumulated falls over and over and over again. And so our bodies are bruised, our hearts are bruised, our minds are bruised. We have this endless journey that really takes us away from where we really want to be. We take fall after fall after fall. So when we move on in the world, the first L I have is lull, is to sit, to lie, or stand. And, it says in a lazy manner, in a way that just says, I'm kind of, I'm going to slouch down a bit. I'm going to slump. I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm going to act like the world doesn't exist. Well, the world does exist, let down. Absolutely. That's good. That's good, Joan, because sometimes we are let down, and that's how we end up in this point of being in a lull, where we feel like we don't want to contribute anymore because no one has recognized or, certainly said thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. I recognize you. And so we do have a tendency to put ourselves in a dive of where we fall. We didn't fall physically. We fell emotionally, or we felt mentally. We fall like that. Let's face it. Sometimes you can talk to people and they are like just as lackluster as the day is long, even though they've been given something that they don't recognize as really being theirs. I tell you, as a person, whoever had people working for me, and I used to have trouble saying working for me because some people don't really want to work for you. So I got to the point where I would say working with me. And sometimes the idea of togetherness gave people a more team approach. And even though they knew there was a leader, that they felt empowered in their own way. And that was okay, as long as it didn't interrupt the process of the team and whatever needed to be done as being our charter. So that was okay. I could do it. But sometimes we have to realize who's on the team, who's a part of it. Listless. Okay. I've known a lot of people who are listless. They have nothing, nothing to contribute. They are quiet, unassuming. I tell you, I took a class when I was working on my doctorate. I took a class, and the class was real tough because it had to start with it didn't start with a solo. It started with a duo, and the duo moved to a quad, and then the quad moved to octagon, and of course the octagon moved to a mega group. Well, the mega group meant it was the entire class, of which I want to say there was maybe 35 people. Well, in 35 people, you got some people in there that ain't gonna do any work because they said they got all them other people working. Why should I work? And when it all boiled down, there were two of us in the class that did probably, and this is no joke, we probably did 70% of the work. Okay. But guess what? Everyone got the A. Lackadaisical. That's good, Erica. That's good because some of them were. Everyone got the A. Well, I'm be honest. I was a little ticked off, a little testy over that because I had worked. I was up in the middle of the night looking like this, like, okay, how am I going to figure this out? And did it. But the entire group, along with the other young lady that was working with me a lot, we got the work done for the rest of the class, and even summed it up in terms of the writing and everything, and everyone got the A. We were ticked off when we tried to talk about it with the professor, but they didn't want to hear it. They let us know from that experience that sometimes when you start off as just a duo, it will work. A quad may work, but once you start moving to the octagon and all of a sudden you have this mega group. Well, that means you have mega problems because everyone is not going to feel it a requirement to participate. And so we get online and we had to do these side groups. We didn't have Zoom, you know, we didn't have Zoom at that time. We had like these, whiteboards and closed off rooms that we did synchronous. We synchronized being in the room. But, of course, you don't need any of that now. It's just done so much differently with all the technical innovation, but it just shows you that, as they say, nonetheless, there were people that benefited from the way we decided we were going to work this issue out. So we worked it out for ourselves and other people benefited. Sometimes you have to realize that may be your fall into the position that you were given to get it all done or help with others getting it done. So and once I took that on after I got over being angry, because I got my A, I was mad about the A they got. Well, you know what? I should have thought about it then, which I didn't, that not my business. Not my business. I got my A. I earned it. And if other people get things that they haven't earned, you can't do anything about it. It is what it is. So my last word, which kind of goes with law, is lazy. Sometimes we fall because we are lazy. If you don't do the work, like the person that does not study for the exam and has all the things available to them to know what should be encompassed in the exam, whose fault is that? You have to study. You have, and I did other things for studying too. I would call and get together with other people in the class, and I was saying, "What is your understanding of this? This is my understanding," and we collaborate. We look at how we needed to attack this problem because it became a problem until everybody got through it. Lethargic. I love that, Joan. That sounds like Debbie. I'm gonna tell Debbie that you got some of her moves now this morning, because I always have to laugh at Debbie because Debbie does that kind of stuff. But to be lazy is lackadaisical. Let's face it. It says lazy is time spent in relaxation. Okay, it's a lazy manner, one where they mark time doing nothing or just doing them. Maybe sleeping and maybe just watching TV or maybe playing games. Like the big thing for young people is playing games. That's the huge thing. That's what they do. Good morning, Tara. How are you, my friend? Love you, love you. Thank you, Diva. You the diva. Anyway, today our word is fall, and how sometimes we may take a fall and it wasn't intentional, but we take the fall and we don't know how to get back up. And I'm saying that, you start slow, you work your way around it, and next thing you know, you're back up on your feet. But to be lazy, that's my last L. So far I've done flop, abyss, lull, and lazy. So for my laziness of my fall, I said it's when we relax a little too long. It says we mark time doing nothing. We might be twiddling. You remember people that twiddle their fingers, maybe twiddling their fingers. It says they may absolutely do nothing but hang out with the fellas, hang out with the girls, do nothing, Well, nothing will pay your bills. Doing nothing will pay your bills. It will not. Do not. You got to do something in order to get the bills paid, which includes the house and the car and all those other things, your clothes, what you eat, the things that make it where life should be easier. But I've met some young people who told me that they are just essential. Okay, y'all remember that word, essential. And essential for them is just the basics. Don't need no fluff. And if it's fluff, it's the fluff in the areas that they want, not anything that, say, an older, more mature person would want for them. Mm-mm. You want to play games, have a good time, smoke the stuff. um, just enjoy life. You know, I talked to a young man one day and I was asking him about, what he did versus what his parents were doing. And he said, they got it wrong. I said, they did? I was like this, because I'm taking notes. They did what they do. He said they got it wrong because they spent so much time becoming successful that somehow or another we were lost. The kids were lost. And that to me was something I refused to do for my kids. I wanted to be present. I wanted to be the one that not only helped them guide forward, but be able to be in a position to make their own decisions. That if they decided to be a carpenter like I am, that's fine. But if they decided to go on to college and be a doctor, that's fine. Making everything okay just because I realized that it was important for me to really be a parent and understand the significance of being parents. LOL. Love you too. Oh, thank you so much. But anyway, that's today's lesson, fall. Realize that we are all in position to stand up if we want to. But sometimes the falls are easier to take. And I'm going to explain that. Sometimes it's easier for us to sit down or easier to lay down than for us to get out and do something that gratifies us and also maybe serving others. I am a true Rotarian. I believe in it. Okay. I believe in serving others. I will do it until I'm pulled up out of here by God. But I'm looking at my life beyond just myself. But I'm going to start with the fact that I get up. I start with the fact that every day when I get up, I say thank you. Every time I go up and down my stairs and I don't need assistance, and I do my stairs probably, I think I talked about this the other day, I do my stairs probably before I do my vlogs. I've already done them 5 or 6 times. So I'm purposeful. I look at what I need to do and I do it. And I'm going to try to do that until, if I'm given the graceful old age of my grandmother, which was 96, or my auntie, which was 104, I'm going to do it. Okay. My mother was almost 95. So if I'm given that, I'm going to do it. And my mother walked, my grandmother, they all walked, well into their 90s. So look, all I'm going to say is thank God. I believe in him. I'm going to keep moving forward in what we're doing. Good morning, Rhoda. How are you? Glad to see you in the space. We did fall today, so go back and listen to the lesson if you can. But I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. I thank the Her Foundation. I'm going to get my award and just show you it. Hold on. Hold on, ladies and gents. Hold on. All right. This award was given to me on Saturday night in Destin, Florida by the Her Awards, which is through the Herpreneur Network. It was absolutely wonderful. I do thank them so much, and I want you to know God is in our lives if we hold on to him. Hold on to him, okay? Thank you so much. I'll see you on Wednesday with another word. No more touting about me. Wednesday will be all about you. But I just gave you a little bit at the beginning and a little bit about the end of me. But anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you. I'm going to see you soon. Listen, no falling, okay? I will not fall down today. That's your message, okay? See you. If you don't do anything else, you don't have to send no money or anything. But if you just click on that you love, like, and that you'll share it, I truly believe you. And I truly love you for that. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.